tree, for the Lord he wanted to see. And as the Savior passed that way, he looked up in the tree. And he said, Zacchaeus, you come down from there, 'cause I'm going to your house today.
Is that it?
Yay!
Hey, there we go.
Awesome.
All right, see.
You never heard that before?
No, I never heard that. And I never heard it, no, until your mom sang it for me. And I was like, I've never heard
We
that
always
song.
said come to your house for tea, though.
I was
We changed the
deprived.
words.
I was a deprived Lutheran child.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you grow up in the liberal Atlantic district, you know. So yeah, I was deprived. No, honestly, we did Father Abraham and all that kind of stuff. But no, I never heard that until I met Christine Rogers, and we went from there. So, anyways, just to give you a heads up, the rhetorical structure is the same as last week with the call of Peter, where we go. It's kind of like a pyramid. It's the ring structure. But in order to get a grasp of what's going on here, we have to look back. If you go to Luke 18:31, you've got to start there in order to get a real good grasp of what's going on here. So if you can look back a little bit, it's just a little bit before the beginning of chapter 19. You'll see we're going to start at Luke 18:31 as Jesus foretells his death and resurrection in order to get a better understanding of where Jesus is at with Zacchaeus, okay? So the context begins with Jesus is on his way to Jerusalem. Jesus is on his way to die. And this is how it begins to be set up. So what you have is, starting in chapter 18, verse 31, and taking the 12, Jesus said to them, "See, we are going up to Jerusalem, and everything that is written about the Son of Man by the prophets will be accomplished. For he will be delivered over to the Gentiles, and will be mocked and shamefully treated and spit upon. And after flogging him, they will kill him, and on the third day he will rise." But they understood none of these things, and this saying was hidden from them, and they did not grasp what was said. And so we begin now, which Kenneth Bailey would say is the first section of the greater section. It's the first section which precipitates the section on the blind man, or excuse me, on Zacchaeus, Jesus and Zacchaeus. So, okay, what we have is right before Jesus gets to Zacchaeus, he heals the blind man. And this is an important dynamic to consider, because a blind man is someone who even today it would be easy for us to have mercy on. Okay? The blind man is what would be dubbed he who is oppressed. Okay? So the section begins with Jesus is on his way to Jericho. Now remember, he's going to Jericho on his way to Jerusalem. Okay, so he knows where he's going. His face, everything, he is set on going to Jerusalem. Okay? So Jesus begins, after he tells them about how he's going to die in Jerusalem in a week, they're right at the beginning of the week of the Passover. So the lamb is getting ready. It's right before the triumphal entry on that Sunday. Jesus is on his way. So he's going through the historical city of Jericho, which is, why is Jericho important? What's important about Jericho?
Joshua.
Joshua. Now, does anybody remember that song? I remember that one. Jericho, Jericho, and the walls came
I still got the camera working.
Jericho.
Oh, I thought it was the
Yeah,
Joshua Battle of Jericho.
Yeah, no, I know. I only
Is that a
remember that
different
one
song?
section from Mrs. Sturtz's kindergarten class. Jericho. How does it go, Kurt?
Joshua fought the Battle of Jericho, and the walls came tumbling
Joshua
down.
what?
Joshua
Fought
fit
the battle of
Jericho.
And then you
Jericho.
can, and then there's a chorus like you can something about the dead.
Okay, see, look at Kurt go.
Yay!
Yeah,
Your
so-
Sunday school memories are coming down.
So, okay, so as we see, and we'll look here, we'll read it. It says on verse 35, as he drew near to Jericho, a blind